America.
Tonight on Follow the Money, with passengers on edge, even kids getting strip searched, the TSA battle continues. Meanwhile,
Why won't they move this thing?
the Ground Zero Mosque, a big money grab, $5 million in federal 9/11 funds. Plus, the angriest mayor in America.
You took a shot on us. You took a shot at me.
What's killing us?
He's not going to be happy when I tell him why I think auto unions suck the life out of business. Watch out, Mayor. And Velma Hart told the president she was afraid of a return to hot dogs and beans.
I'm exhausted of defending you, defending your administration.
Guess what, Velma? You're fired! And the Dancing with the Stars conspiracy. Could it be Bristol's last dance tonight? Or will there be a mirror ball trophy hanging in Wasilla?
I thought it was fantastic. There you go. Congratulations.
Center of New York, welcome both of you. Pam, let's go right to you. I'm hearing this. I can't believe I'm on a panel that says build the thing, and two of the three guys in the panel say go ahead, take the money too. What's going on, Pam?
Well, those folks are conquered. This is outrageous. This is the second wave of the 9/11 attacks. If you consider the fact that the 9/11 families and the Americans are against this mosque, against the funding, where is the harmony? Wasn't the objective of this mosque supposed to be about harmony? And again, we see the morphing mosque narrative, where you notice when it's convenient, they tie to Ground Zero because this is a Ground Zero fund, you know, for redevelopment. But when it's inconvenient, they deny the connection.
Right, Pam, that's a great point, fantastic point. Reverend Chloe, let me ask you this. I've been on there. I've lost a lot of friends in the World Trade Center. 16 very, very close friends I work with, dead, gone. I comforted their families. I raised money for their families. And all we've ever said was, do it somewhere away from Ground Zero. Just move it away. What's wrong with that idea?
Because our Constitution guarantees freedom of religion, and it's that simple. And as a chaplain that served at Ground Zero myself, I hear you, having done funerals for those folks, I hear you. I just have to say that the federal funds that they are applying for is to serve homeless veterans, to serve immigrants, to serve people starting small businesses, needs that community deeply needs.
Reverend,
yes.
but why the federal money? Why do all my viewers who pay their taxes out there, well, a portion of what they pay go to this in one way, shape, or form? Even if you're in Kansas, you're still money is still going to find its way. It's all fungible. Find its way to the Ground Zero Mosque. Why do we have to support this project?
And your money and my money also supports Catholic charities and the Hebrew Center for Children here in New York City. One of the great things about this country that we should give thanks for this on Thursday is the way we allow faith-based institutions to serve all our people.
Go ahead,
and
Pam. You want to?
That's something that's to be thankful for.
Pam, will you respond?
Yes, this is not a religious liberties issue. No one has invoked the First Amendment. This is an issue of human compassion. This is an issue of common decency. The Japanese didn't ask to build a Shinto shrine at Pearl Harbor. Nor would they, because it's wrong. And nobody can refute the fact that it is very much the ideology that inspired those attacks, and no one will address that issue. People that speak against it, we're the bad guys. But the jihadists, they get a free pass. The Pope withdrew the Carmelite Church outside of Auschwitz because people found it insulting. Where's the reciprocity?
Pam and the Reverend, hold on, Pam. Pam and the Reverend, why don't you stay right there? We're going to bring the panel in. Curtis, you say build it, but don't take the money.
Oh, they're plucking our eyeballs out.
Well,
now,
but they have a right to.
Eric, you went over
the, the Reverend says right there, that's what's so beautiful about America. If you're going to be able to build it at Ground Zero, then you should be able to access that.
Fine, but Christine O'Donnell, there is separation of church and state. And if you want to be independent and autonomous and you say damn to the rest of the American people who are opposed to it, don't take their money. Don't insult them. Don't basically cause us to have to soil ourselves to say, not only do you insist on building it, which is your right, you're going to take our money to boot, you're going to lose.
It's a privilege.
Hold
It's
on,
a
Reverend.
slumlord.
Hold on, Reverend. Hold on, Reverend.
Absolutely right.
Reverend, hang in there. I have Dr. Keith who's on your side. Hold on, Reverend. Go ahead, Dr. Keith. You disagree with Kurt.
Look, bottom line is, look, if faith-based institutions should not receive our money, then no faith-based institution should receive it. It doesn't matter what the religious faith is. And no, I wouldn't entrust my freedom to Pam. Pam in the red dress. I wouldn't entrust my freedom to her. Because listen, if we're at war with Israel, I'm a Jew, and I'm going to suffer at her hands.
It's going to be 10 years since the attack of 9/11. What do we need social services there? How about taking care of the workers who went in there
This
without
is a
leukemia?
freedom issue.
All kinds of
You want people to be able to walk the streets, right? That's what you
homeless guy is homeless
that's what
because
you've
of 9/11
worked
was
for. That's what you started Guardian Angels for. Be a Guardian Angel for Islamic
I always think it's
people,
funny
too.
that people such as Pam want to apply collective guilt and collective punishment to people, but don't want to accept it. I guarantee you that if a person that was a member of any group that you belong to did something to me, that you wouldn't want me to apply that to you and say, she's a female, or she's white, or whatever it is. I don't want her anywhere near me because another white female did something to me. You wouldn't buy into that. Yet these people...
Go ahead, Pam.
I would certainly stand against it. And
No.
you cannot
That's a
speak
shock.
to the over 20,000 Islamic attacks since 9/11, each one with the imprimatur of a Muslim cleric. I am not saying that all Muslims, excuse me, I am not saying that all Muslims are responsible. You're not letting me speak. What are you afraid of? You're afraid I'll say something that makes sense?
Pamela,
I'm waiting.
The problem is that it is a privilege to serve. It's a privilege for anyone to serve the wider community. Christians find it a privilege. Jews, people of non-faith traditions. Why are we denying that privilege to folks who belong to a religion that makes up a fifth of the planet? Muslim Americans deserve the right to serve. They deserve the right to serve in our community.
Yeah, look, Pam, bottom line is this. You mentioned during World War II, what if the Japanese Americans had wanted to build some sort of memorial or honor American courage and build it right at Pearl Harbor? I guess you would have been angry at them too, huh? Should they still be an internment, Pam?
They never asked.
Do you trust Japanese Americans? We were at war with Japan.
So I can't speak, right? You're just going to.
No, I'm ready for you.
You're just going to spew your nonsense. You're just going to spew your nonsense.
I'm ready.
It is Islamic supremacism. All through Islamic history, non-Muslims have funded Islamic expansionism.
Yes.
You want to disregard. You want to disregard history in concretes.
It's about
and you want to talk about
Americans.
unicorns and you want to talk about moonbeams.
No.
That's up to you.
Hold on,
I have
guys.
no problem with. I have no problem
hang
with
in
mosques. I have no problems with mosques in Manhattan. No problem with mosques in
One minute.
America. There are thousands. Not there.
One minute,
there?
guys. Dr. Keith, this city is broke. This state is broke. Yet we're going to offer them money to build this mosque. We're going to offer them tax breaks to be at Ground Zero because they're what? A religious center, but when they want to be a religious center, but then they were a cultural center when they want the money. I'm confused, Doc.
At the macro level, we could talk about whether these laws that allow for religious faith-based institutions to receive money are right or wrong. But bottom line is, it's their property. And they have rights as Americans to apply for these monies. Pam's ready to go to war. She wants a religious war. I'm not ready to fight a religious war.
They said they would go out and fundraise in their own community. And you're telling me there aren't Arabs and Muslims who are wealthy and rich?
Every dollar. They should apply for every dollar that they qualify for.
Hold on, guys. Hang on, guys.
Go to those kinds of things.
Pam, did we not hear that they were going to raise all this money overseas? Remember the $100 million? They weren't going to need a penny of us, of our money, right? Is that what they said?
Until people started condemning them.
One at a time. One at a time, Pam.
It was part of the morphing mosque narrative. There'd be no foreign funding, and then there was foreign funding. I have declared war on no one. They declared war on my country. 3,000 Americans were slaughtered, whether you like it or not. What do you, no.
It's like blaming the Aryan. It's saying like Christianity is subsumed by people of the Aryan nation.
Hang in there, guys. Hang in there.
It's like saying all Germans are
Reverend,
Nazis.
hang in there. It's real hard. We have two satellites and we have a panel here. We should recall why we're going through all these procedures. 19 radical Islamists plowed airplanes into the World Trade Center, killing nearly 3,000. And Al-Qaeda this week taking credit for disrupting the American way of life, saying we are winning with Operation Hemorrhage or death by 1,000 cuts. So what's the answer? More security, profiling? We sat down with Lou Dobbs yesterday. Here's what his response to that very question was.
What is wrong with this country's leadership that they do not understand that if it is an emergency, if it is a crisis, it is a war, that requires the suspension of certain rights in certain instances? Why would you choose not to do that for fewer people rather than more for all citizens?
So we should profile.
I don't think there's any doubt in the world. What kind of game are we playing here? Will we be politically correct as bodies are being blown into the sky? Or, what are we thinking about as Americans?
All right, I want to go to Reverend Chloe. We need to point out that, Reverend, you're friends, if I'm not mistaken, with Daisy Khan, the wife of Imam Raouf. Is that correct?
Absolutely, yes.
So tell us, what is the Imam doing right now? What are Daisy doing?
He's preparing for an interfaith service of Thanksgiving tomorrow at 1 o'clock, where you'll have a rabbi, Representative Father James Forbes. You'll have a Hindu and Buddhist representative sharing what their traditions tell them to give thanks for, and how it is an American gift that we have to give thanks for. The gift of religious freedom and the opportunity for people of different faith traditions to give back to the whole community, not just their own, but everyone in need. And that's what this Islamic Center is about.
Pam,
thank you.
Do you think that this Islamic Center is about anything other than what the Reverend just outlined?
Clearly it is. We have heard Imam Raouf on audio on my site, Atlas Shrugged, extol the work of Sheikh Haradawi, a notorious America hater, a notorious Jew hater. I am not the enemy, okay? I wish that everybody on your panel that directed their barbs at me would direct it at the people that attacked this country, that would direct it at jihad. But I contend that they're afraid. Just the way the media is afraid to run the Danish cartoons, or the producers of Comedy Central can't say the word Muhammad, or Molly Norris. Molly Norris, a cartoonist in Seattle, is living in witness protection because she decided everybody draw Muhammad Day. They can't kill us all. Listen, this is a real threat that we have to deal with, and running away and pretending that it doesn't exist.
All right, Pam, hang in there.
I will tell you, you can avoid reality. You cannot avoid the consequences of avoiding reality.
Pam outlined some serious feelings. People are angry. They're mad. They're still, they don't forget. I see bumper stickers all over the country, not just in the New York area. It says, never forget 9/11, the towers are on fire. Doesn't this just is a constant reminder of that day, this mosque?
Well, it can be a reminder of healing if we so choose. And Pam tells us a lot. She's very honest. She's transparent. She says, I wish that everybody who is angry at me expresses it toward these people instead. That's the formula for prejudice.
Yeah.
That's the same mentality that said, not in my neighborhood. You will not, no Jews, no blacks in my neighborhood, right, Pam?
Wrong.
People have a right to donate to things. At this interfaith service, let them pass the plate tomorrow. Let's see how generous the rabbi is, the reverend is, the Catholic priest is, in helping them provide social services and doing outreach. I didn't know this was a social service organization. This is a mosque. You pray 5 times a day to Mecca and Medina. That was the purpose of this.
When you go to the JCC
for $5 million.
Go ahead, Reverend.
When you go to the JCC in Manhattan, you find it a multi-purpose building. It is something that serves. It is a place where synagogues can come if they reserve space and pray. They began that way. Absolutely not. No, the JCC on the west side. That's what I'm talking about. And I want you to decide yourself. Go to www.courtofamovement.org and decide for yourselves.
Reverend, Pam points out a very important distinction. At the JCC, there's not a synagogue. At the Islamic Center proposed that at Ground Zero, there is
I can tell you
mosque.
from having talked, there are Jewish houses of worship. That's how they began, is you can reserve space there like you can, for example, at the Cathedral of St. John the Divine where I worked. You can sign up for a service, not on a regular basis, but you can go there and worship if you're an outside group. The same availability is made for Jewish congregations in the JCC. I don't know about the why, but that's something to consider as well. And that's the model that has been there all along.
Let me tell you the problem I have here. Here's what we're looking at. We're looking at 2 different perspectives. We're looking at one perspective that says America is a we. We are a community. We are a neighborhood. We're looking at another perspective that says America is us and them. And I can't stand to hear us and them because I always end up in them.
That's absolutely untrue.
Pam,
the
believe
narrative
me,
here is
take my word for it. I've got a little experience in that area, Pam.
There's self-defense. And the war was declared on this country, and you can avoid reality, but you cannot avoid the consequences of avoiding reality. As we speak, JFK is in lockdown because of cargo. There are bombs in some cargo hold. There is a war on the West.
It's a Tuesday before Thanksgiving.
We're going to have to leave it there, Pam. You may not see this, but I'm holding up a toner cartridge right now. If this isn't symbolic of the war on the West, nothing is. We're going to say thank you very much to Pam Geller and Reverend Breyer. Coming up, remember Velma Hart, who told the president this?
Quite frankly,